Shalom. Open your Bible. Not feelings. Not tradition. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Bar for bar. You quoting opinions, I'm quoting a word. Isaiah 28, did you read what you heard? Precept upon precept, line upon line. If it ain't in the book, then it ain't divine. 2 Timothy say, rightly divide. So why you twisting scriptures to fit your pride? We ain't here to argue emotional fame. We here for the covenant law in the name. Deuteronomy 28 still apply. Tell me who fit the curses, don't lie. Scattered abroad, but we waking up now. Nation of kings, we remembering how. Not church, all the Torah precision. Give me the verse, not your television. If it not written, I'm cutting it off. Revelation 22, don't have to take off. Bar for bar, bring your scripture out. If it ain't in the word, what you talking about? Bar for bar, chapter and verse. Truth don't bend and it don't rehearse. Bar for bar. Lord, my heart, we don't neglect. Bar for bar, all praise to Yah in his holy name. Lord, my heart, we don't neglect. Bar for bar, all praise to Yah in his holy name. You say the Lord done passed away. Matthew 5, what did he say? Not one jot nor tittle fall till heaven and earth that covers it all. You screaming grace but ignoring commands. James 2 tell you faith need hands. We ain't saved by works alone, but faith without works is a lifeless tone. Peter said judgment first in the house, so we correcting the nation now. Iron sharpening iron with heat. Proverbs 27 make it complete. We not debating for cloud of views. We here for the sheep that's needing the truth. Ezekiel 3, blood on your head if I don't want you what y'all said. Bring the scripture. Chapter.
If it's true, it stands. If it's not, it falls.
Bar for bar.
Open the scroll, truth hit deep when it pierced the soul. Stand and contend, Jude 1-3, fight to the end. Open the scroll, truth hit deep when it pierced the soul. Stand and contend, Jude 1-3, fight to the end.
Hey, shalom, Akim. Wa akwath. Yahba Shem Shah Brakatham Shamar Thought to my sisters. Ashar Shabbat. Y'all see the title. This is another episode of the Bar for Bar. What is black culture? And with black culture comes Hispanic and Native American culture. All three. What is our culture, man? We got to really look at who we are and what our people are basically exemplify. Like, what are we putting out in the earth? Right? You could see this picture. You got gangbangers, rappers, celebrities, all these different things that's being portrayed and pushed to our people. But never righteousness, never God's commandments, never the faith in Yahweh Shai, never you're an Israelite. Matter of fact, when you do that, you get canceled. And that's the cancer culture that we have, right? Now, people are afraid to do that. People are afraid to come out and say, hey, I'm an Israelite. Hey, I'm of this tribe, right? Some people are afraid to wear their fringes out in public. Put your zits on because you're not accepted anymore in black culture. You have determined yourself different, and then you know how black people are. Once you're different, you think you're being better. Mm-hmm. But our culture needs to be bettered. Right now, our culture, I feel like, is at an all-time low. We are at an all-time low when it comes to black and Hispanic culture. I'm talking about, y'all remember the days, this even before my time, this was ending with my times, where you could knock on somebody's door, yo, you got some sugar? You can knock on somebody's door, you go to your neighbor's house and ask to borrow something, and then you know you're going to get it back. Times ain't like that no more. They pressing the Ring camera. You like, why this nigga at my why he at my door? What do he want? What is he doing here? Matter of fact, you don't even know your neighbor's names anymore. There's no more kids playing outside, having a good time. That doesn't exist. Now kids, they need a Draco or they need a pop gun. They need some kind of weapon to show their masculinity. The only culture our women have is to be over sexualized and twerk. That's it. There is nothing else. From old to young, they starting them young and they getting older and older with the twerk. Because our Black and Latino family, our women have been taught the only way to display your beauty is to over sexualize yourself, to dress promiscuously. When 20 years ago, that would have been dressing like a prostitute. Now you can't distinguish the prostitute and the regular woman. They all dressed alike. Think about that. When you look at the scripture, they say actually the prostitute, she used to cover herself up in shame. When you look at Judah, when he went out and got the woman, or not, was that Judah? Am I mistaken? I'm about to read that account now. I'm about to read that. I think it is Judah though. He went out and got the prostitute, right? She was covered up. She wasn't out dressing promiscuously. That would have been too obvious. Might have got stoned for that. But now it's culture, and now you can't question our sisters when they dress like that. What do they say? What do our sisters say when you question that attitude?
My body, my choice.
It's my body, it's my choice. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the account. My body, my choice. This is how I express myself.
Mm-hmm.
With no clothes on?
Or Salakia,
Go ahead.
even tell you because you're not paying for it, because of what are you doing for me? So therefore you don't have a say so because you're not giving me money.
Yes. The culture, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got that ring. That's being portrayed in the mindset of our women. Black men and Hispanic men, you have to be the most masculine. You can't show any emotions. Matter of fact, you're not even cool no more if you haven't been to jail or got shot. If you got shot, that means you lost, brother. That means that they got you. You were slipping. You got shot. That's not a. We look at that as a. When you went to jail, that means you got caught. You're not supposed to get caught. But it is not cool if you haven't done some time. We got videos for y'all, man. We got some videos for y'all showing us. Give me limitation, man. Our people are a laughing stock. We're gonna talk about Offset too. Offset recorded her cooking. That's Cardi B's lyrics, right? I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got the ring. A couple months later, Offset is recording her cooking and cleaning. She loved to cook, actually. Sweeping the house. But she's putting that in the minds of the women. Why? Because the music is the algorithm to destroy our people. Do you ever see how when you listen to secular music, how different it makes you? Like you get a different demeanor. You sit up a little bit. You get that I wish a Negro would spirit on you. You start to think different. You listen to spiritual music, your mind ain't go. You might cry. Your mind might not even. Your mind isn't even going there.
It's Salakia. Jacob make a playlist just for his wickedness. For everything that he wants to do, he'll make a whole playlist to stay in that spirit. And will literally set up the song progression. All right, this is gonna turn me up. Okay, then after that, I gotta hear this. You know what I mean? Just stay in that wickedness, man.
Sister Bora said, she said, being intelligent isn't cool. Actually, being intelligent is lame, and being stupid is being cool. How? I met a young brother last week. He had a 4.5 GPA. How is he, black kid, braids in his head, tall, good-looking young brother, high school, 4.5. How he not the coolest kid at the school? How is he not the most popular student at the school? 4.5. You too smart, brother. They want you to have a 1.3. You don't go to school. You smoking at the school. You coming to school drunk. You selling drugs. You're the cool guy. Think about this culture in the society that's being pushed, because the culture is going to be what? Molded by the children that's coming up. They're going to start to set the culture. I think something Uriah said you can't even be an athlete no more. You got to be an athlete and a real Negro. You got to be a gangster. You just can't be the regular, yo, I'm a defensive end and I'm just a big boy. I'm regular. No, you got to be gooned out. That's our culture. Go ahead.
My father just recently retired. He was a teacher. He taught for 39 years. I thought it was less than that. He taught for 39 years. And the main driving force, he taught high school, behind him retiring was the kids and the fights. And he couldn't figure out, why are these children so angry all the time about everything? That's what he kept repeating to me. And it's exhausting for the teachers, man. And it's exhausting for the school district. And they just stop caring. They start making the focus about getting state funding and test scores. And it's not about educating the children anymore. He said, if you take their phone, they lose their minds.
Yeah.
They lose their minds. They're fighting their own parents at the school. They're fighting their teachers at the school. They're fighting other students at the school. They're fighting the principals. They're just angry. That's what we have to figure out. With all this information is so easily accessible, why are you so angry? You can do whatever you want. Whatever you choose to do, that's righteous or on a good path. You have the resources to do it, but they're just angry all the time. They're just mad about everything. Even when you see them smiling and laughing, out of a blink of a hat, the smallest thing is from 0 to 100. So that's something that was interesting to me when I spoke to my father about why he retired. He loves teaching, but it became too stressful on his body, on his spirit.
You can't even teach him no more. I'm thinking about me. When I was I'm gonna give y'all a story on me. I was unteachable in high school. I ain't trying to learn nothing. Did you hear me? When I was in high school, I did not go to school to learn. I went to school for fashion. I want to dress good. I'm fly, and girls. That was it. That was it. There was school. I'm doing makeup work at the last minute just so I can get to the next grade. Standardized tests, I'm doing terrible in those. That's me. So I could talk about these things. Yo, a teacher came up to me. It was like 10 days, maybe a month before the last day of school. I was a senior, 12th grade. He looked, is an Edomite. He was a coach, Coach Mounts. He actually passed away. He had cancer. He looked me in my eyes. He said, come here. Looked me in my eyes. He said, if you keep portraying this, I guarantee you're not going to amount to nothing in life. Matter of fact, you're not going to amount to nothing in life. That was the last conversation I had with Coach Mounts. He died. You're not going to amount to nothing to life. Do you know how many of our black students are living that out, though? Mm-hmm. He looked me. I was 17 years old, young black kid. Yo, you're not going to be nothing when you grow up. Guarantee it. Like, he was dead serious. I guarantee you're not going to be nothing. But I had to use that as the greatest motivation ever. That had stuck with me. I'm going to show you. You don't know. You don't even know me. I'm going to show you. But a lot of our children, they're living that out. They don't care about comments like that. Matter of fact, they're going to prove you right, actually. The kids nowadays might have swung on him for disrespecting them. Because our culture has changed. There is no respect for the ancient men. There is no respect for elders anymore. That doesn't exist. I got some quotes here, right? From the great Marcus Garvey. I want to show y'all some of these. Where'd they go? How can I put this? Does it go in the back? Did I do that? I put it in the back. Salakia. Say something real quick.
Hey, I think, one reoccurring theme that I see when our people is in regards to education and what it has to offer. A lot of our students seem like they have a spirit like, what does this have to do with me? This is irrelevant to me. Why would I sit up here? Why would I learn your math? Why would I learn your education? Why would I learn all of this? And it's not going to benefit me because what I'm going to get some job doing, basically involving myself in your rat race, but it doesn't give the promise of glory. It doesn't give the promise of fulfillment, of answering the true call that exists in all of us, and that is, who are we, and what is our worldview? Meaning, how do we see the world, and how can the world benefit us, and what is our marking place in the world? Now we know, intrinsically, we know we're supposed to be that of kings and queens. We're supposed to be running everything, but we are not. Man, we'll get to the details of that later. But a lot of times, our students, they just don't care because they don't think it's going to matter one way or another. Because they say, hey, all right, so if I take these tests, if I get these degrees, I'm still going to be working a 9 to 5, barely getting by. Or shoot, I might get a job working at the same store that this person who dropped out of high school is doing. But there's no reason to capitalize on the American dream. The other nations, they say, what is their worldview? I can come to America, or through education, I could become qualified, learn the skill, and now use it to change the trajectory of my life or my family's life. It's relevant to me because I can actually utilize these skills in the real world. But our people, we don't think that the American dream applies to us. A lot of times we think that the American dream happens in spite of us, and so it's difficult sometimes instilling those principles into our youth that no, actually hard work does pay off. Yes, you might have to work a little harder. Yes, you might have to get a little bit more creative, but guess what? If you not only do the work, but command the resources, share the resources with your people, and now start to create a system, a culture, a safe place that is our mark on the world. This is what we do. This is how we immediately, someone that's young, they can see, oh, if I learn this and I become this person, I can not only provide for my family, but I can provide for the community. And you see a whole system. That is our worldview. That is our culture. But because that part is broken down, the only stars or the only path that the youth is hopeful towards is that of a young boy, is that of a Cardi B, is that I can see. And that's why it's such a detrimental thing for any time we get successful, we move out of our communities. We get literally out of the eye of the youth, because now the youth doesn't see that. He doesn't see the path forward. All he sees is what he hears. And what he hears has been given to him to keep him lost.
That's right. Look at this. I want you to look at this quote Marcus Garvey stated. Right, he says, "A people without the knowledge of their past history and origin and culture is like a tree without roots." That is Black and Hispanic people. Give me Hosea 4:6. We are a people that have no knowledge of history, origin, culture, And we are those people without roots.
So lucky.
It is common. Look how crazy it is common when black people get together. We know at the end of the night, when Hispanic people get together, we know at the end of the night, there's probably going to be a fight or a shooting. That is black culture. You can't deny that. That has become our culture. Didn't we see it with our beautiful sister Tiana? Didn't we see that? I have the video for that. I'm gonna show them running around. They shooting. We're gonna show the video. That's black culture. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play that first. This is black culture. It's 404 day in Atlanta, right? People are supposed to be married and have a good time, but no, it has to end like this every single time. So obviously, this is the shooting right here, and the children are running. Let me turn the mic up. I think this is one of the family members. She was 16 years old, man. Some brothers on here and sisters got 16-year-old sons and daughters. Teenage sons and daughters. 16. Watch this. That's when they're shooting right here. Everybody's running.
A big family. She's gonna get justice.
Atlanta police released new surveillance video taken at the park Saturday night. You see it right here. It shows large crowds running from the sound of gunfire.
What are our people doing? That's all I could. When I see this, I'm like, what are we doing? None of y'all was in Orlando. Same thing happened in Orlando, but it was fake guns. It was fake, like somebody had a gun and they would have a stampede of people running in one direction. I had to warn the brothers beforehand, yo, when we go out here, there's going to be a point in time where there's going to be a stampede of people like there's someone shooting. There's going to be nobody shooting because you won't hear no gunshots. People are just going to start running. Just fall back towards the walls and we're going to make a barrier. And as I predicted, it happened twice. And then how I don't want y'all all tell it, the general, a lady got stomped. And he had to like jump in and try to protect her. They stomped over her, but it's because of actions like this. What did it say? When there is no hedge, what? The possession is spoiled. The youth should be the possession, but guess what? There is no leadership around the youth. So we're making ill-advised decisions, and our 16-year-old young daughter has been unalived for no apparent reason. Keep going, man. It's just sad and it's disgusting.
Or 4-day celebrations and stemmed from an unpermitted gathering on the west side of the park. They are hoping that this video can help track them down.
Tiana Robinson's uncle says she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was simply enjoying her spring break with her friends at Piedmont Park on Saturday night when she just...
This little girl won't even get the opportunity to graduate high school, go to college, learn the truth. It's been taking
time.
I just want y'all to know Tiana was so sweet. She was innocent. She didn't never come out the house. She was just an innocent child, just scrolling on TikTok, watching Disney movies. She was so sweet. She was so sweet.
She left so soon, but she just had a wonderful spirit, and she was just, I don't know. It's just so many things I could say about her, man. We just gonna miss her.
Just need justice.
When we gonna stop this, man? That's why I'm showing this. When are we gonna stop this manner? When is this gonna stop being Black and Hispanic culture? Y'all, we gotta ask ourselves these questions, because all of us with the children, we're raising the future as well. Give me that in Hosea 4 and 6. And give me that in Lamentations 2.
Kind of wants the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Read it again, Art.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
What did Marcus Garvey say? He had to be reading the scriptures. A people without knowledge. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Read on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
And because you have rejected knowledge, the Most High is going to reject us. And now there's no what? Protection. He leaves a little sanctuary, like Ezekiel says. He always will leave a little sanctuary of people that he guides and protects. But for the masses, there's no protection. And our people don't even know they're the people without protection. There's no army fighting for you. You don't have a seat at the UN. Do you think they're concerned about you when they're talking to Pakistan and Iran and Israel? They're not concerned about what you think. Mm-hmm. They're not concerned about sisters. They're not concerned. There is no concern about our sister right now. Just another shooting in the hood. We'll see you next 404 day. Read on.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
And it's heavy. That's heavy because it says, thou shalt be no priest unto you. But the scripture says the priest's lips shall teach knowledge. They shall teach the commandments. So there is no priest guiding our people. No, you got Anthony Mitchell teaching in the dark, Creflo Dollar skating on money. Geno Jennings, I don't know what he got going on. This is what you got now. So the priest's lips are not teaching the commandments. There's no priest. Read.
Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
And because you forgot God, I'm going to forget about your children. Do you see how heavy that is? And now what can they say? They're right now. I don't want my Ikaya. They're right. They're right. There is something called black on black crime. That is a true statement. That doesn't take away from white on white crime, and it happens all throughout the country. We're seeing it right now. It doesn't take away from any other race on race crime. But that it is a fact. There is a problem with black on black crime. We are killing our own people. That's an issue. And not even our own people, our children, our mothers, our elderly, our young men. Because God said, because you rejected me, I'm going to reject your children.
Salaki.
Go ahead, King.
It's a shame, that when things like this happen, the first thing that we think about is, man, the sister needs to be vindicated or she would receive justice. And yes, rightfully so, people should receive justice. But is the justification just finding out who actually committed the crime, who shot the gun and killed the sister? Is that what's going to make it right? Or is it the changing of the culture, the changing of the mindset of our young people, the changing of the mindset of parents, adults who should take responsibility for their communities? It's not just about, let's find the young man that did this and lock him up. Okay, what happens next? Mm-hmm. Where does that cycle change? Because all we're doing is repeating the cycle.
Yeah.
The mindset has got to change. Give me Isaiah 5 and 20.
Bring it out.
And then another, hey, I don't know if this is the one that you wanted. Get Lamentations 2 and 16.
2 and 16. Mm-hmm. You want 5 and 20 first,
No,
Isaiah?
give me Lamentations 2:16 first.
Kind of the one. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 16.
Yeah.
All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee.
So who are we talking about right now? We're talking about the enemies of the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. Keep reading.
They hiss and gnash their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
They say, we have swallowed her up.
Now read the next statement.
Certainly, this is the day that we looked for.
Keep reading.
We have found, we have seen it.
So your enemies are saying, we got them right where we want them. They taking each other out. They don't know who they are. There's no respect in their communities. All they're going to do is gain us more profit. They're going to continue to destroy themselves. Their parents are not going to teach their children. This cycle, man, we're going to get rich off of them. And they calling you fools to your face. Look at what they do to your neighborhoods, man. You have a diabetes center in every neighborhood now.
Every single one.
They destroying you through your food, and we don't see it. We continue to perpetuate the cycle of destruction and no teaching.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset that our children have of instant gratification and no forward thinking comes from the adult that refuses to teach the younger generation, man. You have to teach the value of forward thinking, because instant gratification, man, it's destroying our young people. Because our neighborhoods are tore up, run down. We only see a black man on the back of a garbage truck. And our young people have the mindset, man, I ain't trying to dump trash. You want me to go to school so I can be a trash man? Nope. So they don't see the successful black man that has done well for himself, done well for his children. They only see the instant gratification. Man, I can make 3 times of what he make by selling a little weed, sell a little crack, do this, do that, destroy my people. There's no thought about that. So they glorify the negative. They glorify the murder, the destruction of our women, the prostitution of our women, the whoring of our women, the changing of kind of our men and young sisters, man.
Yep.
Read that Isaiah 5 and 20.
You got it on.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light.
And this is what our young people do. They call evil good now. You sleeping with so many women, that's good.
That's a good thing,
Right.
You still a virgin? Think about your culture. Hold on, wait a minute. Before you think about your culture, you men and women, go back to when you were a child and your virginity. A lot of y'all were hyped into it. Yo, you still a virgin? Yo, come on. I got somebody here for you. Come on, come this day. We're gonna fix that. That is black. Like that's probably all cultures, really, but it's terrible because we don't look at that as the golden, like that's precious, man. Or you had the older women taking advantage of the men, the young boy. Go ahead, officer.
Look, I don't want just to add on to that point. Oh, go ahead. I don't want Salaki.
You good, King. Go ahead.
Just add on to the point. I know I have a coworker whose son just graduated from Howard, and he's going to graduate school in USC. He's a virgin, and he talks about how much he was bullied in high school and how much he was rejected and isolated, and he used that to focus on his education, and that's where he's at now. And I shook the man's hand. He's in the world, and I speak to him quite often at work. So that's good for evil, light for darkness. That's the perfect scripture to bring out of this moment because it's happening now, man. It's happening in every aspect of our community, man. It's got to stop. I yield there.
Hey.
Go ahead, King.
All right, hey man, Salakia, on that same point, real quick, just get get Sirach 41 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as it pertains to that whoredom that we promote, because guess what? A lot of times that happens from an outside influence, but also that happens by our cousins, by our uncles, within our families. That whoredom is promoted for us. Shoot, how many times I know this happened to me, having a big cousin. Hey, look, you want to see this music video? Oh, look, hey, look, when that tip drill video came out, it was like something that the men in our family bonded over, and I had no business seeing that type of thing. That BET uncut stuff, but that is promoted. That was promoted to us and given to us by our family members. But what does the scripture say?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 17. Be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before a prince and a mighty man.
You should be ashamed to not only just engage in whoredom, but engage in that amongst your family, amongst your parents. It should be a shame unto you. But we have lost that shame. And that's a stain that you can't undo. As a father, you don't want to see your baby, you want to look at that's a princess forever. You don't want to see her and see a whore. And as a child, once you have done something shameful in front of your parents, it's difficult to go back from that or change that perception. You understand? And that's such this whoredom that's promoted within our families is such a big problem for us. All right. And I'm a yield right there. And then when you're done, I want to go a little higher in Isaiah chapter 5.
Count that one. I mean, it's crazy. Even on that same point. Listen, you have young sisters that will teach another sister how to twerk.
Yeah.
That's cool now. But go stay in Sirach, get 26 and 10.
Count that one. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly.
Man, so if you gotta, and this, hey man, this lesson is going, it hit a lot of points that have been on my mind lately, man. This is why the teaching and training up of our young sisters from our elderly sisters or aged sisters or those that have been in this truth, for some time is so important. What sister knows what shamefacedness is? Shame. Our sisters don't know what shame is. These young girls, man. I remember we were at camp teaching. Car driving past, 2 young sisters twerking on the sidewalk for the cars driving past. That's cool now. That's no shame. That type of mindset need to be in the house. That type of action need to be in the house. But when those that are supposed to be the adults haven't been taught the right way, they're going to continue to perpetuate it. Now what you see on social media, mother and daughter doing TikTok dances together. Like, that's cool. You want to be that cool parent instead of instilling values in your young people, your children, so that they can grow up with some self-respect. But you want brothers, Salakia, you want brothers and sisters to respect you, but you don't respect yourself because of your actions, your thought process.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Can a brother give me Proverbs 1:22? Then we're gonna sit one into this later about the simplicity that it, like the twerking has become a form of communication. We don't salute each other anymore. We just twerk. We turn around, no matter what the situation is. It can be funerals. It could be
just twerk.
That's like the default to how we communicate with each other, specifically our women, man. Whoever can read that
That's
from
the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, beginning at verse 22.
Read.
How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
So we're going to segue into this Adawan Yaquab. Stop me if I start going too far. Instead of promoting the scholars, taking the initiative to prioritize your education and learning to read, and just small things like that. Our form of communication is violence and provocative dancing. We love simplicity, and it comes from our lack of knowledge. We don't care to understand why things work. We just want, let's go straight to the exit. I mean, straight to the finish line. We don't care about taking the stairs to learn. We want to go to the escalator, to the elevator, and go straight to the top, get the answers directly. We don't want to work, learn nothing. And we're going to go into that and segue into that. We have to get rid of this simple spirit on our nation and understand that things are going to take time for generational curses to be reversed, for us to heal from trauma. It takes time. You can't have that mind state. You got to be willing to do the work, to study, and to take heed to the good advice that you receive from our elders who are teaching well and ruling well. So it's difficult. We have to start now. Don't know how much time we have here, man. Taking it for granted. So are you?
All right, so like you, real quick, go back up to Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13. Start there.
I'm still this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, now in verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
For those in the chat, it's a reoccurring theme. It's a key word that keeps being brought up. It was brought up in all the last three scriptures. Hosea 4 and 6, it was brought up. Isaiah 5 and 13. The Proverbs 1 and 22. And what is it? Somebody in the chat, right? So, this is slow, but okay. It's knowledge. Hey, Khan, I'm seeing them come in. It's that knowledge. That be plaguing our people. Not only knowledge of self, but knowledge of the world, knowledge of how you got in this condition. Like, you know how they say, in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been, right? Which is essentially what Marcus Garvey was saying in his quote. It's impossible to have your roots as a foundation if you don't understand your history and your role in it, because along with that knowledge is also identity, right? So it says we're going into captivity because we have no knowledge of who we are and what we're meant to do. Because it should be at the forefront of my mind. I know who I am. I know that I am a child of God, and we don't do that. I'm sorry, we don't twerk because we're on the Lord's business. It's not a part of our culture to behave in that manner.
We don't have time for anything else.
We don't got time for that because we out here conquering worlds, right? But because we lack that knowledge, go to verse, it says what? our honorable men are famished.
Mhm.
What does it mean to be famished? You tired, you hungry. That we've been trying and trying and trying and trying and going so hard that now we emaciated. We famished because the knowledge portion is not there.
Yep.
And so we spinning our wheels, getting tired of the same old, same old. But because we're doing it in ignorance and not educating ourselves, we get lost, right? Now watch this, verse 14. Look. This is the result of not acquiring that knowledge.
Kind of one. Verse 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
Therefore, hell has enlarged herself. Now, this is a perfect verse to talk about hell being a condition, right? So let's understand the conditions that we have now placed ourselves in because we refuse knowledge. Go ahead.
And
No, yeah,
open,
perfect. Before that, it says, what? Because thou hast refused knowledge, I will also reject thee. Let's look at the details of what that rejection looks like of us void of knowledge. Go ahead.
verse 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure. And their glory and their multitude
And
and their
their glory. In their glory. Now we know glory in itself is very important. Otherwise, y'all all did an excellent lesson in explaining the glory with John 17. In that lesson, I implore you all to look into that. Understanding that glory is understanding us of who we are in our role as ambassadors for Christ, as ambassadors for the Lord, giving the glory to Him. Because what? And guess what? These commandments is our wisdom and our glory in the sight of the nations. But because we now have the knowledge of the commandments and what will please the Father, we don't have that glory in the sight of the nations anymore. Right? Go ahead.
and their glory and their multitude
And
and their
their multitude. Now, guess what? Now that our multitude is now thrown in hell. That multitude is that nationhood. That multitude is that unity. Because the only way that we can be a multitude is if we unify. But what are we going to unify under? I'm telling you right now, it is your ethnic identity as a a child of Israel. And us, the Israelites, we've known that, which is a key catalyst of why we utilize. Why we utilize the 12 tribes chart to say, hey, guess what? You actually are not all these disjointed people. You actually belong to the best family on the face of the earth.
That's right.
That is your multitude. There are power in numbers. Hey, I bet you what, the world stage would have to respect us and would have to consider us if we organize our multitude and say, you want our vote, you want our support, you want our involvement, you want to have your businesses in our neighborhoods. If you want to kind of make money or play the game, you got to respect our mind. You got to come to the table. You got to meet our demands. That can only happen if there's a solidarity amongst the multitude. But because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the multitude. You see, like Sister said, unity is power. Khan.
Mhm.
It ain't no different than the fist. What is it? It's the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Meaning, what does that mean? Let's just say if I can do 5 pounds of pressure with my thumb, 5 pounds of pressure with my index, 5 pounds of pressure with my middle, 5 with my ring, and 5 with my pinky. Altogether, that would be 25 pounds of pressure if you add them all up individually. But how many pounds of pressure can I give with my fist? Way more than 25, because it's on a unified front, right? So that is what we lose when we lose knowledge. Keep going.
And their pomp.
And their pomp. What is that pomp? If you look in the Hebrew, that word is basically like to make a tumult. Is your loudness, your noise. Those are the people who speak out for you. Your Moses, if you will, your representative, your ambassadors to the other people that communicate your desires or your issues that you have. How you deal with the world. Your voice. Where's our voice in the Black community? When Biden and Trump and all of them bring people to speak on our behalf during election cycle when it's time for their biannual pandering, who do they have to exercise our pomp? Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce. Even they brought Dick Gregory, who's a comedian, as to be like the elder. These are the people who are exercising our pomp, but it's in hell. It's in the deplorable conditions. When honestly, our pomp is what? The people, the Hebrew Israelites who day in and day out speak about it and implore us to come together and reverse these curses. But because what? Salakia, can you look in the group chat and see what I sent from the FBI
Yeah.
Okay,
Right up.
perfect. Okay, right after this. Look. Okay. So in their pomp, and what? And he what?
And he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
And the people of our nation now would even rejoice because we are God's on earth, because we have that glory, because we have that multitude, because we have that pomp has descended into hell. That's that mental, that's that groping at noonday.
Mm-hmm.
That's that depression that plays our people, which gives rise to drugs and numbing and trying to just basically escape our conditions, feeling hopelessness. All of that is drugged into hell. Why? Because we refuse knowledge. And it got brought up last time. Hey, listen, this thing was written aforetime, written for your learning, right? As a matter of fact, give me Isaiah 33:6, Baba Kashah.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
What did that say?
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Wisdom, because you have the wisdom to know how to move on the earth. You have the wisdom to understand that God has instilled in me law, statutes, and commandments in our place on the earth. And guess what? And knowledge shall be the stability of your times. Mm-hmm. So even through Jacob's trouble, even through the curses, even through the rumors of war, even through the woes and the birth pains that happen on the earth, that knowledge is going to be a foundation of our stability to do what? Keep going.
And strength of salvation.
And the strength of your salvation. I know that strength of your salvation is your faith. I know that we're getting saved. I know I have faith. Why? Because I've acquired the knowledge. I know who I am. I know what it means, and I know what's happening at the end. So I got faith of that, right? I think is that the end of that?
There's some more on it. I don't know.
Go ahead.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And because why? When you fear the Lord, you start moving in wisdom and knowledge, and it's treasure. That's why it can't be bought. Because your knowledge has been for sale forever.
Yeah.
Right? Even so much to even think about it on the right hand side. We even know herbs. It was common practice, even post slavery, for us to be very equipped in herbology, in all the trades, in basically how to exist and thrive as a people, to where people would come to us. How many companies, how many things that we utilize today was just basically Esau coming to us, getting our knowledge and giving us a little check, now rebrandishing it and now selling it off to the world. And now they've taken our knowledge that of herbology and healthcare, I'll just say healthcare, and has replaced that with a pill, replace that with medicines, replace that with insulin, replace that with all these pharmaceutical solutions. Right? Is that the end of that? Right. So then you got the people like us who are trying to tell you who you are, because we understand that that identity is a key part of your knowledge and a great motivating factor for why we need to come together and change. But guess what? When we've done that, we get this is the actual, as you see, it was unclassified, law enforcement sensitive. This was a publication put out in 2017. I just have access to these databases, right? And it was, what is it called? What is the top thing? It calls us what? Black identity extremists. That is what we're being, the FBI has labeled you as. An extremist. Because why? Because we want to understand and have our identity as a foundation of our movement. But they're calling you an extremist for that. And it says likely motivated to target law enforcement officers. Okay, this has been 2017. This is 2017. Has it happened? What black identity extreme group has targeted law enforcement or any other governmental institution? Can you pick one?
No.
Can you find one? Surely not. But just the idea that you are seeking to find your identity and teach your identity it identifies you as a target, as an extremist. Puts a target on your back, because the people who have oppressed you, they understand the power of knowing who you are and gaining that knowledge. And they understand if we gain that knowledge, then we're going to gain our culture. Then we're going to gain the things that are going to probably propel us to be in a better place.
Yeah.
Then they start to have a problem. All right. I'm gonna just reference this real quick, and then I'm gonna pass it. I was telling the brothers, man, you know, I found out. So my grandfather, my father's father, he was like, people called him a Bible thumper, but he was one of the dudes who used to stand out on the stoop and teach our people, try to teach the Bible, similar to, if you guys seen Malcolm X. Remember that street where people would just stand up talking? He used to go from speaker to speaker. That was what my grandfather did, right? And so I found one of his books, right? And this is a book, and I started reading it, right? This is a book. It's called A Plea for Unity Among American Negroes by Samuel Barrett, right? This was published in 1943. What's this? Yep. This is his second edition. You see, 1943, right? But I noticed something. I thought it was cool because he checked this out of the library in August of 1969, right? And you see, one of the things that one of the major things that we're that's being discussed in this book is the need to have a knowledge about who we are, to have a shared identity. And because we don't have that shared identity, I don't see why I need to value you. You're just another nigga in America. You're not my sister. You're not my auntie. You're not my brother. You're not my cousin. You're not going to contribute to the well-being of my family and my lineage. So why would I value that? Why would I treat you with such respect? And one of the things that he's saying, that it's impossible to do that unless we first know who we are. Now, this is a man, he's not in the truth, but he was able to see this. This is the conversation from 1943. It's very interesting to see this same thing also go on right now. I'll have to send it to. I didn't send it yet, so it's okay. But it's a book. I'll give you. It's a good reference point for how regaining that knowledge, relearning that knowledge, and seeing how the absence of that knowledge was intentional and the impact on us as a people in our culture. The name of the book is called Cultural Trauma: Slavery in the Formation of African American Identity. The author is Ron Ironman. All right, Adawan, could you pull up just
What's that?
so
Want me to stay in this article or get out of this?
you can get out of this article. I mean, for those of y'all who want to read the article is crazy, but I'm just showing you, just you even trying to seek your identity and acquire that knowledge is a threat to the powers that be and labels you as an extremist. Knowledge is so important. That's the whole point of my whole stanza right here. We got to start by getting that knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another good book. Damn, maybe I can. Yeah. So how about
Send it
this?
to.
I'm gonna try to see if I can copy But another good book to understand, maybe like this. Watch this. All right, I'm gonna try to send it to you right now
Yeah.
in a private chat. All right, but just in case, you guys can look it up. It's called Cultural Trauma: Slavery in the Formation of African American Identity by Ron Ironman. It really pulls a wool. I mean, it really gives a lot of clarity on how there was an actual intentional system to keep us ignorant of who we are and have our identity only be gathered through trauma or through our response to it. Perfect. Yes. Yes. You see right here, this book explores the formation of the African American identity through the theory of cultural trauma. You understand? It's crazy. It's crazy. It'll really make you angry. All right. Another book. You see, it's called The Destruction of the Black Civilization. It goes into how it was an intentional effort to keep us ignorant and give us the results that we just read about or that we see reflected today. You see, it's a classic. It's a classic. Then the last one, the second to last one, Black Image in the White Mind. You understand? It says the debate on Afro-American character and destiny, meaning who you are in this earth, what the Lord has for you, and what your plan is to do. If we did understand our identity and our character and our destiny, we'd probably in a much better place to organize. Right? Last one being what? The souls of Black folks. Can you please pull up the PDF that I put in the Bar4Bar chat? Go to page 134. The last paragraph on page 134. Con, the brother said he got that book. Oh, praises. Which one?
What PDF you talking about? The Black Extremists?
No,
Yeah,
The Souls of Black Folks by W.B. Du Bois. I sent it, I think, afterwards.
It didn't come up.
Yeah, that's the only one is the Black Extremists.
All right. I'm not watch this. I'm just about to snip it. All right.
Y'all gotta get some of these. Y'all gotta tap into some of these books too, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we telling our people. They gotta read. We gotta read as well. You gotta be diving into the scriptures. You gotta be diving into the history, because we have to reshape Black culture.
That's right.
We have to make reading cool again, right? To where it's our kids. When they used to call it popcorn reading. Our kids are the first one raising their hand because they want to read. You got the one kid in the back. Everybody know he can't read. You know you his homeboy. You the first. You can't wait to read so you could call him. And everybody because our people just can't read, man. And they're not inspired. See, Ak is laughing. He was doing that. He was doing that to brothers, man. You know that Ak can't read, and you're gonna call on his name.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are not inspired to learn to read.
That's
AI
crazy.
is going to destroy the minds of our people. It's going to be infinite knowledge, but you're not going to know how to disseminate the knowledge, whether it's factual or not. Right? While you're looking for that, we're going to get this. Let's get this article while we're talking about reading. I want to show y'all. Kawashar brought this out, right? Or sent this or was reading this. Read that for me, out. Charlotte, read that. Can you see that up?
Can you make it a little bigger? It's a little bit. Okay. And I can only see the title. I can't see the actual.
Yeah. We're just looking at the title right now.
Okay, Salakia. And it reads, sorry, your kid probably doesn't read proficiently.
Go ahead.
Recent test results show most 4th and 8th graders don't read on grade level. That's been true for decades. So what's going on?
Think about this, right? I tried this. You can go to ChatGPT and put, give me a paragraph in an 8th grade level, and then you read it. If you start messing up, you are not at an 8th grade level. ChatGPT, give me a paragraph, 12th grade level. You gotta read it. Because our people were not cultivated to learn to read, spell, and do math. No. Sports, gangs, rap music, drugs, look fly, be cool. That's black culture. That's what it is. Let's keep going in this article. Look at this, man. Can you see that up?
Kind of one.
Go ahead.
And it reads, as the decades-long debate over the best way to teach kids how to read, a phonics-based approach or a whole word approach rages on. One thing remains true. Most students still aren't reading on grade level. The National Center for Education Statistics recently released the nation's report card for 2024 and found that only 30% of all 4th graders and 29% of all 8th graders nationwide scored at or above proficient in reading.
That's not good. That's not good. However,
the results are worse among black students. Only 17% of black 4th graders scored at or above proficiency.
Think about that. You're a 4th grade child. Black and Hispanic is not reading at a 4th grade level. They're in the 4th grade and they can't read at that level. You know why? Here, you give them this. Sit down somewhere.
That's right.
Playing Madden all day. Watching streamers all day. Not checking to see if they're doing their homework. Not checking to see if they understand the homework.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Salakia.
Go ahead.
And a lot of people might be questioning why does this article bring up the scenario behind 4th graders? And it's a very key point in this article, and you will understand, and it'll make sense as to why this article is highlighting 4th graders.
Keep going. Go ahead.
A percentage that hasn't improved since 2022 and is worse than a decade ago.
So it hasn't improved since 2022, and it's worse a decade ago. Worse than. Read.
And black 8th graders currently have a 14% proficiency rate, down from 15% in 2022.
Akin, what does that tell us? As they increase in age, they are reading less.
Yep.
So you might have been, now you're in the 8th grade and you're probably reading at a 5th grade level. But you're about to go to high school.
Yep.
Keep going.
Let that sink in. In 2024, when AI can write your essays and TikTok University can teach you practically anything, schools are still failing to ensure a majority of black children learn one of the most fundamental skills. This data is alarming, says Dr. Artika Tyner, founder of the Planting People Growing Justice Institute, a Minnesota-based nonprofit dedicated to social change and promoting reading and diversity in literature. And with these results, black students are at a competitive disadvantage. Reading, she explains, is a critical skill needed to excel not just in school, but throughout their lives and future endeavors.
Hey, Salakia. So just to that point, now you see how men and women can be taken advantage of in contracts. Yeah. So you want to be a rapper? Now you're a slave to the publishing company or the distribution company because you can't read the contract. You can't understand it. You want to be a rap artist? Now you're being exploited because you can't read. All of this is a snowball effect because you wanted the instant gratification.
Yep.
You didn't see the end goal. So you wanted to hurry up, get rich quick, get that bag, get a nice car, nice house, but you slave it.
Yep.
Keep
Don't
going.
even- That's why you got Pooh Shiesty robbing Gucci Man, and then bringing him a contract and say, at gunpoint, sign this contract. I want out of this. Because you probably didn't read it, brother.
Exactly.
He gave you a whole bunch of money in advance, and he gave you a car and some jewelry and got you popping. Because that's all blacks and Hispanics want. Is to be popping.
Mm-hmm.
It's to be cool. It's to be the man. It's to be the woman. Now you about to go back to jail, possibly because you didn't read the contract or you don't like the terms in your contract that you probably didn't read, and you had to go rob the man at gunpoint. And now black culture is crazy. Did Gucci Man snitch or not? That's all they want to talk about. You got to just be a real Negro. That's it. Gucci Man is not a real Negro no more because he snitched. He told the cops. What did you want him to do? Go back and unalive him? You only got two choices. You could be real or you could be fake. And if you fake, black culture don't love you no more. But if you real, you risk your life, you go to jail, or you die. And that's our culture.
Salaki.
Think about that. Go ahead, Art.
Also, on the flip side, we have Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's Issachar, Northern Kingdom, trying to make a mockery of all these rappers who've cooperated with law enforcement. So it's our brothers from the Northern Kingdom are trying to expose this as well. You know, it's working on both sides, and we're still the evil eye, man. It continues. And it's so many layers to it. It's a lot of layers to it. How you doing?
And then look how simple we are. Right? Let me come back on the screen real quick. I gotta grab the charger. Gucci so dumb and old, he made a diss song about it. Bro, and you got robbed. You're in your 40s and you just got robbed by like a 20-year-old at gunpoint. Took your wedding ring, and now you make a diss song. What are we doing? We have to be the silliest culture. That is silly. But that's what our people want. And this is what our people enjoy. Let's keep reading this. Because this is a problem.
Kind of the one. A chronic issue. Tyner says students' lack of reading proficiency isn't a sudden crisis. Reports and assessments may bring renewed relevance, but this issue is not new, she says. Instead, it's more like a chronic condition that America is content to live with, especially when it comes to black students.
Go ahead.
In 1992, when the NAEP assessment was first administered, only 8% of black fourth graders were proficient in reading. The early 2000s saw some improvements, where progress peaked with 18% of black fourth graders scoring proficient or higher in 2015. We've had decades of education reforms that were supposed to fix this. So what's going on?
And we can't use the excuse no more. We wasn't able to read for 400 years. Hold on now. You've been in school for a long time now. Had many opportunities. So that we can't use that excuse no more. You don't want to.
That's right.
And our culture and society is not pushing you to be. When is the last time you see be educated for a commercial for black children? Like, where's the, you know how they have like they'll have the what's the soap? The red and white Old Spice. They have all the athletes on there, or Axe, the spray. They have all the athletes and rappers on those things. When last time you seen a doctor on there? A lawyer, a veterinarian, an investor, a realtor. When the last time you seen some of these things in there? Some of these individuals in these commercials, it doesn't exist. They're pushing the clout of that for you. That's what you have.
That's right.
Let's see what else this article has to say. Let's see if we could dissect the chart. That's another thing. A lot of our individuals, they can't read. Our children can't read statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I hate statistics.
It's challenging.
But it's showing you that between 4th and 8th grade, every year since 2019, it has declined.
Yep. Reading proficiency is going down. That's all you need to know.
But there's a key to this, and it's going to cut a lot of people. Drop down to, well, you can read that where it says 2013. I'm slacking in 2021.
Continuing on, it reads, in 2021, 37% of Black students attended high poverty schools compared to just 7% of white students. In those high poverty districts, they get about $800 less per student in state and local funding. That gap shows up in fewer resources, less experienced teachers, and limited access to advanced coursework.
Look at that, though.
That's crazy.
So now you got now you in a school where it's not funded. The teacher is probably not adequate. They might have a high school diploma or got a degree in sociology. Okay. Not saying that's a bad degree if you have that, but someone that didn't care about it, they just took the teaching job as a job. What I'm trying to get at. It's not what they wanted. They don't love teaching. It's a job. And they're not being trained properly because school should train you. Obviously, we know it's training you for the workforce, but in the workforce, what are you going to have to do? Read and write.
That's right.
Okay. So at the bare minimum, you should be trained to do that from school.
Hey, that's a lot here. You should be trained to do that at home, parent. The same way you invest into trying to train your child for the career that you want them to have, living through them, because you want them to be the next Mary Bonds, the next whatever athlete. So you pour into them to prepare them for that. Since we're talking about statistics, it's statistically unlikely for them to make it there. Or even if they do, they're still going to have a contract, which they're going to have to read. So why don't you, parent, spend time into reading into your child or make it cool and reward them reading and learning and educating themselves? But they're not incentivized to do that. You just hand them the phone so they could do whatever mindless thing so you can go and do your mindless thing.
Hey, Salakia. Hey, that's a heavy point, Cap, because this is what I was trying to bring out from last week in terms of the SOT scholars, is we're more conducive to spend the time, spend the money for our kids to develop athletically, then take that money and get our kid a tutor.
Man.
Put our kid in reading clubs or other avenues to further their education. We take that time for athletics. Fathers take that time for football, for basketball. Man, we'll get off work early to make sure our kid on time for practice. He participating. We in his case. Why you didn't make that tackle? Why you need to go hard? But are we doing the same thing for education? It's a false balance here. And a false balance is what? It's an abomination to the Most High, man. We rather see our kids successful athletically, Because there's what? In athletics, there's what? There's instant gratification.
Bingo.
But when it comes to academics, you're telling me I got to wait 12 years? Sometimes I got to wait 15, 17 years to get me a doctorate degree? Nah. All I need, I remember there was a movie when I was coming up called The Program, and there was a black linebacker. He couldn't read. And he said, the only thing I need to know is how to sign an NFL contract. And what happened? One game, blew out his knee, career gone. Now what you gonna do? And you can't read.
Nothing.
But the fact that we'll spend more time progressing our kids athletically, scroll the screen down just a little bit. Keep going right there where it says read well by 3rd grade or else. And this is where it's going to show you why it's bringing out or highlighting 4th to 8th grade students. Read that.
Count out of one. Read well by 3rd grade or else. And then there's the 3rd grade factor. Students learn how to read until 3rd grade.
Read that again.
Students learn how to read until 3rd grade.
Read the next.
And then they begin reading to learn starting in 4th grade.
So what is that saying? From kindergarten to 3rd grade, you're learning how to read. You're learning the phonics. You're learning how to sound out letters. If you don't grasp reading by 3rd grade, what happens? You continue to decline. Thus is why you see the statistics declining. You're in 4th grade all the way up to 8th grade. You're learning comprehension.
Yep.
But you gotta have learned the phonics to be able to read, to comprehend. So because you lack the ability to read by 3rd grade, you can't comprehend what the article is actually saying.
Yep. So you might could even read it, but the comprehension, you missed that part.
Missed it.
Because you're trying to now learn how to read in the 7th grade. You're learning how to read still.
But what happens when I hit 9th grade?
You have no comprehension.
Now I can't do what? I can't apply what I should have learned. I can't write papers. I can't do a thesis. I don't know what a hypothesis. I can't. All the functions that come with the English language, I missed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what does this do? It creates a cut to the parent because you weren't involved from kindergarten to 3rd grade. And this is why what the Adawan, the General Yahweh all said last night was very important. He's teaching his son at 2 how to read letters, numbers, how to sound out his word, how to say his ABCs. And I remember when my children were young, we had to buy a program because we were trying to get our kids in pre-K, and we couldn't because we made too much, and we didn't make enough to be able to pay for them to go to pre-K. So what do we have to do? We had to find other avenues. We bought a curriculum called Your Baby Can Read. And we had to take the time to do the flashcards, to do the numbers, to do the letters. You had to put that work in with your child, man.
Yep.
To get them to the point where they got a fighting chance. The only thing our children doing now is fighting. The chance has gone out the window because we didn't put it in. We didn't put that work in. We didn't want to sit at my parents had us sitting at the dinner table till homework was done. Parents now don't even want to spend that time teaching their kid. You see, hey, I'm gonna tell you, it's sad. You see these memes and these videos online all the time. Johnny had 2 apples, and you see the mother getting ready to slap the little boy because he couldn't add.
Yeah.
He couldn't grasp the concept. But that has become funny in our culture instead of it being sad to the point where we want it to change.
Yep.
Read, give me Sirach 30 and 3. Remember Lamentations 2 and 16, man. They're saying your enemies are saying we got them right where we wanted. We waited for this day. We waited. And your enemies are laughing at you because your kid can't read. Read that Sirach 30 and 3.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. And before his friends, he shall rejoice of him.
So you got a duty, man, to teach your children. But if we don't have that mindset from the time they come out the womb, we ain't doing it but setting our children up for failure. You're giving them to the enemy. You're giving them to the lust of this world. And Adawan Aharon brought it out, man. You weren't satiated. You weren't satisfied. But listen, when you don't teach your children, you give them over to their own desires, their own lusts. Answer this in your own mind. Is lust ever satisfied? No. So they're going to continue to go further and further and further and further. And what does it do? The same way those statistics does. It declines. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And now you see where Christ said that in the latter times, the love of many shall do what? Wax
cold.
Works. And that's what you see today, man.
Right up. Because
so like,
go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick. So just two precepts, but you made such an important point. First one we're gonna get is Proverbs 23 and 22, and then the next one is gonna be Proverbs 15 and 28. You know what you said? You said your parents used to make you do what?
Had to sit at the dinner table until homework was done, man.
These houses don't even have a dinner table. Because the dinner table didn't just function as a place to eat food. It functioned as the center for the home. If you're the king of the home, that is your throne. That's where we had a sense of community. That's where we had to hold each other accountable. That's where we had to talk about our day. That's where you had to sit and learn. That table, it was such an important piece of family. These nations have it today. Do you notice they sit all around one table, and we subconsciously do it only on these damn holidays? Half the reason that you want to go to Thanksgiving or your memories about Thanksgiving are sitting around that table as a family, sharing, learning, and experiencing together. But we don't even prioritize that. I implore everybody, listen, you got a home, you got a family, get yourself a table and make each other sit down, eat, and work there. Half of these problems are going to poof, be gone. Give me that in Proverbs 23 and 22.
Comment on. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, starting in verse 22. Hearken unto thy father that begat thee.
Hearken unto your father that begat you. Why? Because your father is the only man that wants you to be better than him. Your father is the only man that will actively pour in you because he wants you to surpass him, right? But as a man, you're supposed to have that natural inclination to want to educate and uplift your child, right? And what?
And despise not thy mother when she is old.
Because she gave her life for you. She gave her life ever since you were conceived. She's been literally putting her life, her mind on the line for you. So when she gets older, And as she grows and develops, don't despise mommy, right? But guess what? Go ahead. Keep
But the
going.
truth, Salakia, buy the truth and sell it not.
Buy the truth and sell it not. Get that knowledge.
Yep.
And don't sell it for anybody or anything, or don't prioritize anything over acquiring knowledge.
That's right.
Okay? Because it is the strength of thy salvation we just read about, right? Keep going.
Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding.
And also wisdom, instruction, and understanding. Like sister said, look, we used to talk about family history at that dinner table. Listen, exactly. That's when you can understand about your forefathers. You come to sit at the table and not on your phones. You put your phones in a basket that's not on the table. But guess what? At that table is where you can talk about wisdom, instruction, and get that understanding. And why, parent, should you pour into giving your child this wisdom and not sell it? Next verse. Let's see the benefit of it.
Verse 24. The father of righteous shall greatly rejoice. Salakia, the father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice.
Mm-hmm.
And he that begetteth a wise child shall have joy of them.
If you teach your child and create a wise child, you'll be able to enjoy him. Why? Because you're going to see him achieve his hopes and dreams. You're going to see him hopefully surpass you in all his endeavors. You're going to see the fruit of your hard labor in this child, and it's going to be so fulfilling, and that you're going to have you're going to be proud of your family, and you're going to see actual good legacy, a good legacy that comes from yourself that's building on itself. But if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to enjoy your child the way you really want to. You're going to be disappointed in your child because he didn't end up being a football star. He ended up being that YN outside, or just another number.
Yeah.
Because you didn't in teaching him wisdom, he's just out here just screwing off life, and that's when you down talk him. That's when you don't even look. Parents these days, they don't even want to give their houses over to the next generation. They don't even want to give their assets to the next generation because they don't respect or value the next generation enough to do that. They'd rather just die with a few extra 100,000 as opposed to say, you know what, because I've created this new generation. I've created a child that is wise enough that I trust to be the steward over my affairs. They just say, nah, you over here on TikTok.
Hey, it's Salakia, Cap.
Go ahead.
Look at how our forefathers view being a YN. You go to Deuteronomy, I think it's chapter 21. When a parent had a son that was a so-called YN, what did they do?
Read the account. We got to read the account. You get two options. You can send them down the path of righteousness, or they turn into this. Look. Right? Hold on, let me find this.
Start at
21 and 8. Start at
21:18.
Hold on, real quick. You got two options. Because this is how it's gonna turn. They're either gonna be wise or they're gonna be this age. I don't know who this guy is. He could be a good guy, he could take care of his children. But the mindset of game banging, repping rolling 40s at probably 35 years old is insane. But that's the road for our people. Listen, it's midday.
What up, Gary? Right here, Cody Creek, nigga. All right, neighborhood, nigga. So I'm like, I'm not about to swallow nobody down right now. Cause I'm Cody Creek, little Parkside there. Cause I'm like, please don't be no enemy. Go recording no weird shit. My mom in the car right now. I'm about to punch him some shit.
So he asked the guys that's hanging on the block, where y'all from? They say they from the same game, 40 Crip. His mindset is, man, I'm glad y'all ain't from the enemy gang, because I would have had to punch y'all out. And my mama in the car. think. These are grown men with children. They probably have children. That means they have baby moms. Get a job, Jake. That's the mind, and that's not just California. That's all across the world. That is all across the 50 states. And that's how people, when people think of black people, do you know that's what they think about? They don't think about the prominent and the astute and the high. No. Mm-mm. They don't think about that. They think about this. We love to glorify this of our culture, how tough and hard we are. It is 8 guys out there, and you was by yourself. You was gonna punch on them if they would have repped a different game. But that's how it be. Yeah, Aharon was in that culture. He was in that lifestyle. I know. God. But when you go area, it's just like no other. It's just in California, they got Crips and Bloods, and in Florida, Louisiana, New York, you just rep your hood. You just rep where you from. They just put a color behind it, but it's all the same stuff. Because really, they're repping what 40th and Vernon, whatever that said.
No, they right there on King and Vermont. But no, the dark skin dude, he from the dark side, and this dude, he from Parkside. They're different subsets of folks.
So it's just they rep the area where they from, but they just put a color behind it. But think of the mindset. You're gonna die over a Parkside. You don't even own this. You probably don't own the house you live in that area. But you repping that block. Hold on, Northern Kingdom. You can't get away. Next video.
Check it out. Look, put the camera.
Northern Kingdom. Wild out. Wild out. Look what he said. Look what this kid said.
I got out the hospital. I got shot 8 times. You got out the hospital.
I got shot 8 times. Well, I want to get this man's stomach off the screen. I'm gonna see your stomach.
Got that zipper, boy.
A zipper. He might have had a colostomy bag and pooping out of a bag now. That's what's being glorified. So you got shot 8 times. None of them dudes did nothing to help. But that's our culture. Imagine if those minds could be turned positive, how constructive they could be. Of each one of these minds out here, look how many Northern Kingdom brothers those are. They're deep. And in the other video. And turn that into something positive. Owning a business, buying up real estate. Think about that. But then you got to ask yourself, some of these kids is probably in high school. What reading level are they on? Matter of fact, they dropped out. Can't read. No high school diploma. Now you can't get a job. Now you got to go back. Go get your GED. And then you become 35, 40, and you're like, yo, I wasted my entire life. And I got shot and went to jail behind it. Felonies.
And look, half the time probably could have got out of jail because the police made a mistake in due process, but because they can't even read their court transcripts and all their paperwork, they sitting in jail.
That's right. That is the cycle of Black and Hispanic culture. That's how it goes down the drain. Not doing good. It starts in middle school, early 5th, 4th grade. You get to high school, you can see these kids over here smoking. You might be smoking in an athlete. He might have a chance because he might get away from that. But the drug gangbangers, they going in a way, and that's influencing. Because guess what they got? The girls, the money. They're the bad guy, you know, that's the rep people like. They tough, they seem tough. It's 10 of y'all better be tough. But that's the mindset of our people. We are completely destroyed. And that's the culture. Somebody laughing hard. That's the culture of blacks and Hispanics.
Man.
We diss each other, we don't like each other, and then we fight. Give me Hosea 4:1 real quick before we read that.
Comment on.
Bring that out.
It's the book of Hosea, chapter 4, starting at verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Read.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Now people don't even know the half, but the Most High has a controversy with us, man. He has a problem with the way we acting and acting like spoiled brats. He has a problem with that. Read.
Because there's no truth.
There's no what?
There's no truth.
There's no truth in the communities, man. Read.
Nor mercy.
Ain't no mercy. We're willing to kill each other over colors and contracts. Money. Off little TJ's band, their group just shot Offset. Think about these are our celebrities now. And our celebrities are usually portrayed as the leaders for some reason in the black culture. That's how it goes. They are shooting each other at casinos. Celebrities, they have millions of dollars and still acting like the video we just watched. Think about that. So money can't even change them. Only the scriptures, man. Only the scriptures can change the mindset of that man.
That's right.
These people have children, millions of dollars, they still killing each other. That's right. Like I said, no truth. There's no law. There's no laws and commandments that keep it.
Yeah.
Read on.
Nor knowledge of God in the land.
Look at it. It's going right back to it. I heard knowledge again. Mm-hmm. There is no knowledge. What he said again? Here's the quote. A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. That's us. Man. Look at this. Liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the body of the men.
That's right.
But the mind of the so-called black and Latino man have not been liberated.
That's right.
He said he's gonna take the chains off of us and put the chains on our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Now we were a slave without the chains. Look at this. You at this time can only be destroyed by yourself. This is our nation. Our nation can only be destroyed by us from within and not from without. You can have COINTELPRO and all these projects, but if we have a solid foundation in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, there's nothing can deter us. You have reached a point where the victory is to be won from within. That's where the victory got to start, with us. And can only be lost from within. That's why we went into slavery.
That's right.
Because it was lost from within. Get another one for you. What he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. What did Yahushua say? How are you going to be set free?
You know the truth. Gotta know the truth.
You gotta know the truth. The
right.
truth shall set you free.
Mm-hmm. How do we know the truth? How do we get to know something? By getting what?
Knowledge.
That's it. So it's a circle. None but ourselves can free our minds, man.
Mm-hmm.
You think about this, what we was just looking at, these are people that look like each other that want to harm each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are at war with your own men. Friendly fire. You're at war with your own army. Look what he said. The black and brown skin is not a badge of shame, but rather a glorious symbol of national greatness. But we don't look at each other as great. You got Jake beefing against Jake, Northern Kingdom beefing with Northern Kingdom, and then you got Jake and Northern Kingdom beefing. We don't see each other when we see it. There is just no reason why when we see another black, so-called black, Latino, or Native American, we don't see greatness walking by. But what does Scripture say? We're gonna have an evil eye.
That's right.
If Most High could just, we gotta start praying that, fasting for that. If He could just lift that. Because if He lift that, guess what that does to you? It also humbles you, because then you got to consider, are you part of the problem?
Hey, Salaki, I don't want.
Go ahead, King.
Just to add to your point, can a brother give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, verse 6?
Read out.
Right, because the question you just asked, this scripture speaks to that exact point.
Mm-hmm.
Shalaki, did you
right?
say 12 and 6 or?
Nah, chapter 4, verse 6.
Shalaki. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, starting in verse 6.
Bring it out.
For children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial.
So the reason why our children are out here, these young kids out here acting the way they do, they can't read and write. They look at evil as good and good as evil. They look at a young man who has a 4.5 GPA as a lame. The reason why is because they are a direct reflection of what they see in these adults that's out here. They see grandma with booty shorts shorter than their grandchildren. They see the fathers out here at 40 years old still being gangster, smoking, right? These kids out here are a direct reflection of the parents that's out here, right? And guess what has happened to the parents? They haven't reached their full potential. And guess what will happen to the children? Go back a chapter to chapter 3 and read verse 16.
Khan. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, now in verse 16. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. Khan.
So the children, because you haven't reached your full potential, you haven't been an example of what it truly means to be a man of the Lord. You haven't been the example of what it truly means to be a shame-faced woman. But you have taught them an evil lesson. Guess what? Your children will not reach their full potential. And look what is the end result of that. Our young men and women are being slain out here in these streets. Right? Like we got an example of a sister who passed away, who got slain not too long after we left camp. Because our children are out here without hope.
Yeah, no hope.
Right? They're miserable because they dealing with your trauma that you passed down to them. Because you're dealing with trauma that your parents passed down to you, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And it's all a reflection of us, what? Forsaking the kingdom, forsaking the laws of God, forsaking the knowledge of the and wisdom of the Most High. Right? Jump up to verse 11. Jump up to verse 11.
Verse 11. For whosoever.
Actually, start at verse 10.
Verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord.
right? So it was our responsibility going all the way back to our forefathers. It was their responsibility, according to Psalm 78, verse 5, right? It was their responsibility to pass these laws and commandments down to us, and we're supposed to pass them down to our children. So when they beget children, they would do the same. But what has be passed down to them? Gangster music,
Mhm.
the culture of being a created nigga in America, because we're the project. And what has the project produced? Nothing but whoremongers and whores out here. That's what it produced.
Monsters.
Induced monstrous. I'm like, come on, man. But when we sit here, a lot of our older men, when I sit here and listen, I had a conversation with an older man not too long ago, and he was sitting there talking about we was talking about the youth on what can we do to reach these youth out here, right? And only thing I heard coming out of his mouth was, "Ah, forget them. They this, that, and the third." I'm like, "Wow, bro, you lost your way.
Yeah, it's over with.
You got tired, right?" But guess what? These children, these youngins out here, is a direct reflection of him. It's a direct reflection. So it goes back to the parent. It goes back to us, right? A sister posted in the chat last night on class, right? It takes a village to raise a child. Yes, it does. But how do we fix the village?
Yeah.
Because the village is broken.
The village is broken. The village is messed up.
Like, what did Isaiah say? The whole head is sick. None is righteous. We all gone off. And as a result, we are living as a people who has been neglected, a people who has been rejected because we reject knowledge.
Yep.
Hey, Salakia.
Go ahead, Adon.
To your point, man, I remember when I was younger, you know, you had Ice Cube, Easy, you know, they had their rap group called NWA. And that was the culture back then. But it still reigns true today. America's Most Wanted is what? NWA. And it's still being perpetuated today. If you understand what NWA stands for, it's still perpetuated today. Hey, I got to jump off from camp. Hey, Yahabashim al Shabrakathum. Shalom.
Shalom.
Even when you talk about Ice Cube, he made a statement and said he never lived the gangster life.
Right.
He said that.
Right.
He just made the music. That's how you know it was all CIA.
All the brothers was intelligent.
Go ahead,
all of them brothers was very intelligent. Every one of them, from MC Ren all the way up to Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. All of them were very smart and well spoken. That should have been how they portrayed themselves. I understand it was a means for a way out of an environment that they didn't want to be in. But what they should have portrayed should have been more so who they really were, who they truly were. Now you.
Hey, Salakia, real quick, can we get Proverbs 15 and 28, and then Sirach 9 and 11? And y'all see the boys trying to say that basically West Coast and Cali is the reason why all this ignorance. You see they trying to say that we did it. You see this? See what y'all doing?
Northern Kansas, I got shot 8 times. The man had a zipper. On his stuff. I didn't even want to show the people. But that's cool though. It's cool to be shot 8 times. Like that's a thing now. You got to put that in your rap song.
So, Lockie, you want Proverbs 15:28 first? I don't
know. Do 15:10 and then 28.
Kind of the one. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way,
Because anytime you try to talk to these people and try to tell them, hey, you're being ignorant, or anytime you try to say, listen, child, you can't read, they get very insecure. They get angry. They want to punch you. You can't even say anything to try to correct them. Right? But go ahead.
And he that hateth reproof shall die.
That's why we end up dying in America every day. That's why this man getting shot 8 times. Because the people teaching him hated the reproof. Because he hated the reproof. Because nobody could tell anybody anything because we so insecure at our lack of knowledge or just just our pure ignorance that instead of educating ourselves, we try to be bravado and be prideful. Half the time parents is mad at their kids is because they don't even know the answer.
Right.
And they're embarrassed to say to the kid, I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of actually saying, you know what? My child is probably going to go through 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade math. So how about before they get there, I go through what? 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade math and go to Amazon and get you one of them little books and brush up on it. Right? But go ahead, verse 28.
Verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
It's a righteous thing to study and seek knowledge, not only to answer anything. It doesn't just say one particular thing, but to know what you're talking about. The heart of the righteous is going to seek studying, is going to seek knowledge. It is a righteous thing to do. Go ahead.
But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things.
But if you're not seeking knowledge and you're just talking, it's evil. You don't even realize you're spewing out evil, ignorant stuff that's keeping us in a twist. Right? Next verse.
Verse 29. The Lord is far from the wicked.
And the Lord is far from the wicked. So if you stay wicked because you refuse to get knowledge, what did the Lord say? You reject knowledge, I will also reject thee. Mm-hmm. You see how it's all coming together? We cannot get up out of here without getting the knowledge. We in the scripture, we in Proverbs chapter 15, and we just started at verse 29. Start from the top, Baba Kushar.
It's the book of Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 29. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he that heareth the prayer of the righteous.
What did we just call? What did he just identify in context what the righteous is? Those that are studying to get the knowledge.
Shalaki, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Can I read that scripture correctly?
Yes, you may.
Verse 29, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous.
But he's going to hear the prayer of those that are knowledgeable. Why? Because you're probably learning how to speak to the Father, how to send up supplications, how to move in a way. That's why I said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But if you don't even know how to fear the Lord, you see how you in the bond. Sirach chapter 9 and 11.
This is the book of Solomon. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 11.
No.
Envy not the glory of a sinner.
That is our problem. We see in the glory of those that are in sin, of the Cardi B, of the this, of the that, and like the brother said, they don't put up our leaders, they don't put up our doctors, they don't put up our thought leaders or our businessmen. They put up what? Stupid ignorance. I almost said something. Stupid ignorant sinners and people who are just perpetuating wickedness. Right? That's who's able to get the glory. Right? Esau understands the power of imagery. He understands that it's natural to have to want heroes and to now try to mold yourself after these heroes, right? But it says what?
For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
But at the end, you don't even know he got a gain that is turned into double wickedness. Sirach chapter 19. But our people, we taught to go ahead to look at the sinners and put them on a pedestal, right? Go ahead.
That is true.
Verse 12. Delight not in a thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
tell you don't look. The thing that the ungodly are getting pleasure in, because it's probably tied to their glory. Don't delight yourself in that thing. I tell you, you got to be very protective of where you allow yourself to get dopamine from.
That's right.
If you got to be so protective over where you get the resource of dopamine, because if you allow yourself to get dopamine from the wrong thing, you're gonna be caught up in a twist.
Salaki.
Go ahead. Go here. Look. Finish this out, and then I'm passing to the brother. Here, just the next couple words, and pass it to the brother.
Count out of one. But remember, they shall not go unpunished until their grave.
That's right.
You got it.
Salaki, I don't want, if I may, real quick. I don't want Aharon. You made a vow a while ago that you have to keep. Speaking on dopamine, you said you were going to make a lesson teaching the spiritual effects of music. I think we got to add it. I think the people will want to hear that. That's a good lesson.
Yeah. All right.
I yield there. That's all I had to say.
God.
Great lesson. Give me Isaiah 30, man. And let's read verse 20. Because this is what it's going to boil down to.
You said verse 20?
We have to make in our communities and to our people the commandments of God the standard and the right way to live. Like, forget about making it cool. I guess you have to kind of, align with the youth, but we just got to make it the code of conduct for Blacks and Hispanic. Like, this is the way to live. The way we're living now is animalistic, barbaric-like, caveman-like, beast-like, brutish. Like, it's not sustainable for a nation.
3/5 of a human like.
Yeah, that's how we're living, honestly. It's not sustainable for a great nation. So we have to make the laws, statutes, and commandments the set standard. And then we have to teach the world how to live. Think about that. Right now, we teach the world wickedness through our music and culture. But it's our job through the laws of God to teach our community in the world righteousness. That's our job and duty. Read that out. Isaiah 30 and 20.
Count out of one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 20.
Bring it out.
And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity,
come on,
and the water of affliction,
read,
yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
How will a man learn without a preacher? So it's our jobs. If we don't like what we're saying, we got to go into these places. We got to go into those hoods. We got to go into these communities. We got to go talk to the families where individuals are getting, unalive. Hey, guess what? We got to go to the jails where the dude goes to prison for unaliving that individual and show him, that's not the way. Let me show you a better way. You might need to, you need to repent and call that family and apologize for your actions. See, it gets tough. It gets tough, man. But that's the culture we have to set. That's the standard we have to set. Because if not, our people are going down a steep hill. And it's only downward. We're rolling down a steep hill, man. Read on.
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
And say what?
And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying,
come on,
this is the way. Walk ye in it.
This is the way, family. For the brothers and sisters that see this video, this is the way. You got to walk ye in it. We've tried every Muslim, Christianity, gang banging, rap life, gangster life, celeb life. We've tried every other way as a people. The only other way to go is to keep God's laws. The only way to go is to keep God's laws and the faith in Hamashiach Yahushua. There is no other way. There is no turning to the left hand nor to the right hand. That's the only way that's the only way out of this thing. If not, we'll continue to be a laughing stock amongst these nations, bro. And a people that they like our culture but hate us as a people. They love our culture, but the violence and the death of it and the evilness of it, but they hate us as a people. It's our job now to turn the wheels, man, and have them look at us like, this is a wise and understanding people. Look at the laws they keep amongst each other. All right. Guys, got anything else?
Hey, since we're talking about the way, we'd be remiss to not bring up John 14:6.
Bring it out. Good one.
I'll read it. I'm here. We ain't even got to break it down. It's self-explanatory. This is the book of John, chapter 14, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Yahweh said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh into the Father but by me.
That's it. There's no other way, man. There's no other way out of this. But through Yahweh and the law, the faithfulness of Christ, and the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead, Captain. Now y'all.
Hey, can somebody give me Malachi chapter 4, verse 4, and we're gonna read through 6. Because how we fix our nation, it starts with the leaders of that nation. Right? Because we got to set the example. It's our job to prepare the hearts of the people to receive Christ when he comes back. Just as it was John, just as it was the prophets, just as it was Moses, just as it was every other man of the Lord that the Most High set up as the pillar and the leader of the nation. All right? Go ahead, read that.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 4, starting at verse 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments.
Salakia. So the first thing we got to do is repent and remember the law of the Most High. We have to first come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So that we can what? Continue.
Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Salakia. So once we come back to these laws and keeping the faith in Christ, then the Most High can what? Send us forth to prepare them before the coming of the dreadful day of the Most High. It's our job to gather the people, gather this nation, not desire, before the decree breaks forth, right? And what is the end result of that? Continue.
Verse 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
So as a result of us coming back to the laws and being faithful in this thing, he's going to send us forth to gather the people so that restoration can take place, so that the curse of the father leaving the household, the mother leaving a household, rejecting her daughter because of the father, or the father rejecting the son because of the mother, so forth, all of that. Restoration can take place because guess what? The judgment of the Most High is going to begin with who? The house of Israel.
That's right.
Before it go forth out to the world, it's going to start with us. So we got to get ourselves together.
That's right.
We got to get our nation together. The general just talked last night. Hey, yo, we ain't got no room for anything else.
Nothing.
Time is getting shorter and shorter. We don't know if it might be tonight. Right? And if it's tonight, are you ready? Like, we ain't got no more time for anything else, man. We got to get ourselves together. And it starts with us. It starts with the man. Then it trickles down to the woman. Then it trickles down to the children. But we got to get ourselves together. And I yield.
Go ahead, Sister Charlotte.
Hey, Captain Nayal, he stole one of my precepts, man. I was going to get Malachi and I was going to get Jeremiah, but I don't think I need to add much on to that. But if we could we throw the thumbnail back up real quick? I want to read a quote that you said at Passover that it's tying into everything. We got these sentiment, all these scriptures we've been bringing out about knowledge and how important it is. This is not our culture, Yasha Allah. This is not what we represent. This is not what we should promote. Let me read this quote, from Captain Yaquab Salakia. He said, "A healed nation begins with the transformation of the people, man." So we have to transform the way that we think, the way that we train up our children, what we promote, what we rebuke, what we separate ourselves from, and that's this image. We have to separate from this image. And I yield there.
That's an excellent point, huh? And that's the only way we're gonna be healed, man, through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai in the faith and transforming the mind, man. He said if you liberate the man, you can liberate the body. Paraphrasing. So we got to be liberated in the mind to get through this culture, because this culture is actually whack.
Yes.
Let's get our culture. Get it in Deuteronomy. What is that?
4 and 6.
Yeah, get that. Get our culture real quick. Bring it out.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Look at this image and then look what the Bible ascribes as our culture.
Salaki, you want me to read up to
start at 5?
Yeah, kind of long. Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So when we read Leviticus 19:17, where it says, love your enemy as yourself, right? You can't hate your brother, basically. That's wisdom in the sight of the nations. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't commit murder. That's wisdom in the sight of the nations. We don't have this wisdom. Mr. Steal Your Girl. How many hats they call it now? Hats is bodies. Y'all heard the youth saying that? They're trying to get more hats. They're trying to get more bodies now. How many more hats can they get? How many more bodies can they get? How they robbed and stole from this individual. We've made evil good. We've turned. Let's get Yahweh shot. Go to stay where you were, Charlotte. Now y'all go to John 3 and read verse 19.
This is the book of John, chapter 3, verse 19. And this is the condemnation.
This is the condemnation of the people. Read.
That light is coming to the world.
Light is coming to the world, but what?
And man loved darkness rather than light.
Our people love this culture rather than the culture of the Bible. Our people love darkness rather than light. Read on.
Lest their because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light.
Everyone that doeth evil, you hate the light. In this context, the light is Christ. So if you do evil, you hate Christ. That cuts Israelites too.
Yes, it does.
That cut Israelites too. If you doing evil, you hate Christ. Everyone that doeth evil, you hate Christ. But what is the main religion of our people in this culture? Christianity. But the law is done away with in the church. That's another problem. Read on.
Neither come to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
And that's the problem. A lot of our people, they don't want their deeds to be reproved. They don't want to be told you need to change how you live and you living wrong, man. You got to be there for your children and teach them how to read and study and be scholarly, intelligent. They don't want that. They're caught up in this black culture lifestyle.
Right.
Deuteronomy. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4. I'm going to continue in verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
They ain't never said that about us.
Nah.
They have never said that about us. Maybe in the early 30s, 1800s, when we was coming out of slavery, it was like, yeah, how they still kicking and surviving? We got to tear them down. Black Wall Street, burn it down. Crack cocaine in the community. Bins of drugs and guns in the community. We got to stop this. And this became my culture. We are no longer being called a wise and understanding people that move off a strict code of law keeping and brotherly love and preferring one another. Read.
You want to do verse 7, other one?
Come.
Salakia. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them?
And then think about it. What nation is like us that have the Most High so close to us, but then at the same time so far away from us? Well, it's because we chose death rather than life. So what is the black culture? It's choosing death.
Yeah.
That's the black culture. This facade that we emulate is choosing death, not life. To choose life is to be the greatest nation and walk under the laws orchestrated by the Most High God in Christ. But we chose to sin, and then in that we chose death, and in that we reject his son. You see why our job is so important? Because 99% of so-called black people love the death culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problem lies. So we answer that question ourselves. What is black culture? Hispanic culture is the death culture.
Yeah.
It's not living, it's dying. It's not sustainable for a great nation. It's sustainable for a mediocre and a base people, but that's not who we are. We are called the chosen and greatest, most special people on the planet, but we walk as not like we're nothing. So then we got to read it again, and we'll go out with this. A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And the black and Latino culture and people are a people without roots because we have no idea who we are and where we come from. With that, we are the sons of thunder Israelites. It is our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved. I'm Captain Yaquab.
Captain Aharon.
Captain Ayo.
Officer Ashar Ya'ala.
And it is our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved. Shalom.
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 Yeah, first, let the whole place rise. Friday night fire with the truth in our eyes. Sons of thunder, let the whole room know. We stand on the word and we move in the glow. We came through the week, now the camp stand strong. Built by the truth, let the weak stand on. This ain't for show, this a people with aim. Law in the heart, we stand in the name. Stand in the name. Let the whole room answer. Children of Israel, built through the pressure. Stand in the name. Let the whole camp speak. All pray, yeah, that's the power we keep. Stand in the name, let the whole earth hear it. Truth in the chest, let the Most High steer it. Stand in the name, let the whole thing ring. Friday night class, let the whole room sing. I learned the hard way, flesh can't lead right. That's why I keep the Most High in my sight. World teach pride, but the Lord teach measure. How to stay firm when the days bring pressure. Brothers in the room with the weak on they back. Still standing tall, still keeping intact. Still trying to lead with the truth in their chest. Still trying to build and correct what's left. And that's why this sound got weight in it. Not hype for a crowd, got faith in it. Not built on men, let the order stay clear. Honor in rank, but the throne stay there. Stand in the name, let the whole room answer. Children of Israel, built through the pressure. Stand in the name, let the whole camp speak. All praise, yeah, that's the power we keep. Stand in the name, let the whole earth hear it. Truth in the chest, let the Most High steer it. Stand in the name, let the whole thing ring. Friday night class, let the whole room sing. No throne for flesh, yeah. Y'all get the glory, yeah. Truth in the room. Now tell that story, hey. This for the elders that held that line. This for the young men learning in time. This for the sisters that walk with grace. This for the children that know their place. This for a nation remembering breath. This for dry bones that rise from death. This for the remnant that still stand firm. Still seeking wisdom and seeking to learn. So let the drums hit low and the whole room move. Let the words ring clear with a righteous groove. Sons of thunder, let the whole camp know. The Most High reign and the truth still go. Stand in the name, let the whole room answer. Children of Israel, built through the pressure. Stand in the name, let the whole camp speak. All praise, yeah, that's the power we keep. Stand in the name, let the whole earth hear it. Truth in the chest, let the Most High steer it. Stand in the name, let the whole thing ring. Friday night class, let the whole room sing. God first, truth next. Sons of thunder.